The FBI's Dan Mayo says scammers who use voice cloning often find their prey on social media.
So you can attach one human brain to a device. You can attach the human brain to another human brain.
Hey yo, we're back at it again. In today's video, we'll be diving into a compilation that will make you question your reality. Let's get it.
An urgent message tonight from Virginia's Department of Motor Vehicles. The clock is ticking for you to get your real ID. A deadline a little over a year away, but officials say that it's time to act now. Chantel Davis live in Chesterfield tonight with more. Chantel?
It is more than a year before that deadline, but more than 3 million Virginians still do not have their real ID. And officials say if waiting to the last minute, it could turn into a real headache.
People are thinking, they won't stick to this one. I'll just wait it out. But the problem is, if too many people wait it out, it's going to get much busier come April.
Virginia DMV putting out an urgent call to more than 3 million drivers over the age of 18 to convert to real IDs ahead of a deadline that's been pushed back many times.
Unfortunately, that piece is out of our hands. But from everything we know, May 7, 2025 is it.
Once that date arrives, presenting a standard ID at TSA will no longer fly.
So right now, domestically, you can fly with your standard driver's license or ID. But after that May 7, 2025 date, you will have to have an additional federally accepted document, such as a passport, passport ID, passport card, or military ID.
This rule also applies to federal secure sites. At some military bases, it's already a requirement. According to the DMV spokesperson, the process to get a real ID is fairly simple, and it can start with filling out an application online.
And when you get there, you'll just tell your customer service agent, started my paperwork online. They'll pull it up. You give them your additional documentation. You'll get in and out of DMV easy, and then it'll just come in the mail about a week or so later.
Even though heavily recommended, the real ID is not a requirement in Virginia.
You have to weigh out and decide if it's going to be the most effective option for you. If you're somebody whose passport's always valid and you don't mind toting it with you, maybe you don't need your real ID.
Now, we want to highlight, if you do choose not to get this real ID, then as of next May, you will not be able to fly with your standard ID. And if you want to avoid all of the chaos, then getting this done early is probably the better option. You can learn more about this application process in a link in this story on our website at 12onyourside.com. For now in Chesterfield, Chantel Davis, 12 on your side.
Hopefully this does not end up being a requirement in the remaining states, but if all possible, I'm more than content using my US passport, because that real ID sounds like the introduction to the new world order.
A young mom is desperate. She's banging away at the window of her Tesla because her 13-month-old son is trapped inside.
I thought I was going to take my baby out of there lifeless.
Cassandra Pineda was charging her electric car at a Tesla supercharger station in Los Angeles. She says when she finished, the car suddenly locked on its own, trapping her toddler Liam. It was a scorching 109 degrees outside. The danger was obvious. The car could turn into an oven inside in a matter of minutes.
I even tried breaking that. I just wanted to cut that car in half.
Nothing she did or used worked. Cassandra was screaming for help when a Good Samaritan came to her aid. After a lot of pounding with a fishing weight, he was able to bash in the window. Little Liam was scared and drenched with perspiration, but alive.
What do you want to say to that Good Samaritan who helped you and saved your baby?
Oh, I just want to thank him from the bottom of my heart. If it wasn't for him, I don't know what would have happened with my son.
I'm not sure how frequent this has happened to Tesla drivers, but after seeing this, they should be giving out free hammers when they sell a car, because using elbows and knuckles to break into a window is just not going to cut it.
At least 7 people have died in catastrophic flooding across Central and Eastern Europe. Heavy flooding has hit towns in the northern Czech Republic, with rivers overflowing and torrents of water running down streets. Thousands of people have been evacuated from their homes in Poland and Romania. A state of emergency has been declared in Slovakia's capital, Bratislava, while the province surrounding Austria's capital, Vienna, has been declared a national disaster zone.
With how fierce that water flow is, you'll need a rescue team on jet skis to maneuver through this.
A Ukrainian engineer has designed a detachable aircraft. In the event of an emergency, the cabin of the aircraft will be immediately detached from the aircraft. In addition to being equipped with parachutes, the bottom of the cabin is also equipped with an inflatable air cushion. When landing, the buffer can be increased, and even if it falls into the sea, it can also be turned into a kayak, which ensures the safety of passengers to the greatest extent.
That's a pretty cool concept, but that disengagement button needs to be far away from the captain's reach, because the last thing you need is the back cabin to go flying when all he meant to press was autopilot.
So what I would like to talk to you a little bit about today is something I was asked to do in 2010 and 2011. I was getting ready to leave over at the CIA, where I'd worked for a number of years, and the Intelligence Science Board said, could you give us a brief on what's in store for us in the future? And it was some information I think some people didn't know, and I think it's good for people to be aware of what's going on out there. Can you actually send and receive sensory information, like the Matrix? The short answer is yes. What we do know is that DARPA did get permission for 500 operations to do deep brain electrode implants. They haven't published anything yet, but my guess is what you're looking at is human-human thought transference, and certainly in the open science world, that was published last month. Actually, the brain-to-brain transfer of sensory information in 2 humans, and they achieved a success rate of being right 85% of the time. So you can attach one human brain to a device. You can attach the human brain to another human brain. You can direct motor activity, or you can send communication and information. So that's what people are doing. There's a whole world out there of biohacking. I don't know if you're aware of it, but you should be. So normally at the university, we are well regulated by the federal laws about studying and experimenting on humans. There's a biohacking community that is not part of the official science community that is busy trying to attach hardware to humans, and they do it in their basements. They study up on how to do the surgeries, how to connect devices, how to put motherboards in people. And they may use it for some purposes like fishing, using RFID signals in their hands to take information from you. But there are some other interesting developments. When you start thinking about the fluidity of what you can do with the brain, they're experimenting with CE6 and giving people with eye drops night vision. For several hours, a person receiving the night drops can see over 160 feet in the dark.
I may need to watch the original Matrix movie again, because a lot of things that we're experiencing in our modern age somehow traces back to that movie. I also have a feeling that a lot of things that's being controlled or supervised by DARPA is just preparing us for the mark of the beast.
It's amazing that people don't realize that the advances in technology over the last 50 years are due to the crash of an alien spaceship in 1947, and that he had the debris from this craft and he gave pieces of it to various laboratories and research institutes, and they came up with lasers, fiber optics, and integrated computer chips.
I had a bundle of wires, a piece of metal about this big, a supercapacitor fiber, a transistor, integrated circuit. Don't think that we were so brilliant and so smart that we knew what we had. We didn't. But we had an instinct that they were valuable, that there was something there.
Seeing how technologically inclined Elon Musk is, it wouldn't shock me if his family got a piece of that aircraft, because the tech ideas that he's coming up with is like out of this world.
But wait, there's more. Rumor also has it that Kim attempted to pull a similar move on Kanye. In one interview, Kanye even confirmed this.
They tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And they when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, oh, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Now, I know this may sound like a far-fetched Hollywood drama, but when you start connecting the dots, it all starts to make a twisted kind of sense. You see, Kim has a close relationship with Lou Taylor, the mastermind behind Britney's conservatorship. Lou's reputation for playing dirty when it comes to her clients precedes her. Aside from Britney's case, there have been whispers about Lou attempting similar stunts with other celebrities, including Lindsay Lohan. Fortunately, Lindsay's family fought tooth and nail to keep her out of Lou's clutches. Now, how does all of this tie back to Kim? Well, remember Kris Jenner's church I mentioned earlier? Initially, many thought it was just a shady move by the Kardashians to get tax write-offs. But it goes deeper than that. Lou Taylor happens to be a board member of the church, and reports suggest that it received substantial donations from Diddy to allegedly pay off his victims over the years. On the surface, it appears as though the church is simply engaged in charity work, but the reality is far more sinister. But here's where it gets truly mind-blowing. The Kardashians allegedly raked in a cool $600 million from Britney's conservatorship. Fans got suspicious when Kim's net worth suddenly grew overnight by $600 million. Even though she claimed it was from Skims, people didn't buy it. And it doesn't end there. Kylie Jenner also sold half of her makeup company, Kylie Cosmetics, for a very similar price. If you're following the conspiracy, that means the money could have gone from Britney's trust to Stonebridge to Panama, back to the U.S. through Kim's trust, and over to Kylie Jenner. Lou Taylor, the puppet master behind Kim's financial empire, has some seriously tangled ties. She managed Kim's money and is also linked to Kris Jenner's church, which allegedly dishes out payments to Diddy's alleged victims via Kim. Yeah, it's like a twisted web of connections, and we're just getting started. Hold on to your hats because here comes the juiciest twist yet. If we've managed to piece this puzzle together, just imagine what kind of tea the feds might be brewing. Rumor has it Kim's about to find herself smack dab in the middle of the RICO charges Diddy's facing. It's like a Hollywood blockbuster unfolding before our eyes. At this rate, Diddy might just bring down half the industry with him, and the Kardashian clan, well, let's just say their empire might be on shaky ground. Reports have it that Kim is panicking hard over being exposed like this, knowing she's in deep trouble. Fans are shook by this revelation, with many commenting on the incriminating information. Kim's time is up, and she's losing business with Hulu and others. Depending on the outcome of the trials with Diddy, it'll determine whether she can still be on TV or make endorsements. She's on borrowed time right now. Some think she'll go down with Diddy, and that will be that. In fact, one person wrote, that family would have done anything to become uber famous. That family is disgusting. Another person wrote, Kim allowed her mother to profit off that video with Ray J. Kim was a willing participant. All her businesses are shady. That's why they're going under. What fool in their right mind would buy makeup from someone that doesn't even apply their own makeup? Not to mention literally the night before she was to marry that basketball player, she had spent the whole night on the phone with Kanye, which explains why her marriage only lasted less than 3 months, because she wanted to come up with Kanye. She's trashy as they come. So why would you expect her to act differently now? But what's your take on all of this? Do you believe Kim could be involved in Diddy's crimes? Or do you think she's innocent? Well, given all the revelations I've uncovered, innocent might not be the right word to describe her at the moment. Drop your thoughts below. And while we await further updates, be sure to check out our other videos for more on the Diddy drama you won't want to miss.
Based on the Kardashians and Hollywood ties with Diddy, I think they're all shaking in their boots. I'm sure they'll rather receive 1 million marketing or spam calls than to receive one from the feds, because the call with the alphabet boys can get real sticky.
This AI technology
so as undersized Susan Campbell found out, this is crazy. It doesn't take much of a voice sample to pull this scam off. This is so frightening to hear.
It really is. This truly terrified this mom, and this technology is actually improving so quickly. You really only need seconds of a voice sample to get pretty close to someone's real voice. The phone number was unfamiliar. Jennifer DeStefano almost let it go to voicemail. But her 15-year-old was out of town skiing. Maybe there had been an accident.
I pick up the phone and I hear my daughter's voice, and it says, Mom, and she's sobbing. And I said, what happened? And she's like, Mom, I messed up. And she's sobbing and crying. And then I hear a man's voice say, put your head back. Listen here, this is how it's going to go down. You call the police. You call out in your mind that was her voice. Oh, 100% her voice. 100% her voice. It was never a question of, who is this? Or it was completely her voice. It was her inflection. It was the way she would have cried. I never doubted for 1 second it was her. That's the freaky part that really got me to my core.
But the 15-year-old never said any of it. It was just a clone created by artificial intelligence.
You can no longer trust your ears.
Subaro Kamampati is a computer science professor at Arizona State who specializes in AI. He says voice cloning technology is rapidly improving.
Now there are ways in which you can do this with just 3 seconds of your voice. So with the 3 seconds, it can come extremely close to how exactly you sound.
And you don't even need any special equipment. I chose a free program for a test, and I'm not actually talking.
It's a new toy, and I think there could be great good uses, but certainly there can be pretty worrisome uses too.
You got to slow down and diffuse the situation.
The FBI's Dan Mayo says scammers who use voice cloning often find their prey on social media.
They're going to be looking for public profiles that have as much information as possible on you. And when they get a hold of that, they're going to dig into you.
The Federal Trade Commission says scammers will often ask their victims to wire money, send cryptocurrency, or pay the ransom with gift cards. Once the money is gone, it's almost impossible to get it back.
The phone number's coming from an area code that you're not familiar with. That should be one red flag. Second red flag, international numbers. Sometimes they will call from those as well.
As a precautionary measure, I think families should create like a secret code or a word amongst themselves, because you just never know when AI Bobby's going to call asking for money.
Celebrities are playing each other. They don't really pass away. This is really freaky.
A celebrity back then was this one, and then now today they're this one. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Okay, hear me out. You ever looked at a celebrity and thought like, something don't look right with you? Either I've seen you before, you look like somebody else, or just something seem off with them, right? What if I told you that every celebrity never passed away? What if I told you that every celebrity is here for good? They're here for good. They've been here since back in the day. They're gonna be here for your kids and your kids' kids. They're gonna be celebrities for your kids, kids. What if I told you that? What if I told you that a celebrity back then was this one, and then now today they're this one? What if I told you that this person was this person? I don't know how they do it, but they do it. I'm just saying.
So I heard this theory a while back, but I'm not sure to what extent it's true. But there's some current celebrities that has a shocking resemblance to like famous people from back in the days. I mean like 50, 100, 200 years ago that cannot be explained otherwise. But let me know in the comments what you think.
Sugar's not the only thing that can make you hypoglycemic. Aspartame, NutraSweet, and monosodium glutamate are both powerful stimulators of insulin release. They will both make you powerfully hypoglycemic. And this is one of the paradoxical things about this sweetener, aspartame, is if you look at the studies, particularly the ones reported to the FDA, one of the big complaints is it causes weight gain. Everybody's drinking it because they think it makes them lose weight. Actually, it makes you gain weight in a lot of people, and that's because it makes you hypoglycemic, and so you tend to eat and snack and nibble, and you gain weight. Monosodium glutamate will do the same thing. Now, the food manufacturers know this. That's why they put so much MSG in food, because it makes you hungry and you eat more of their food. And we know that MSG can induce intense rage if you just put minute concentrations in this part of the brain. If you do a little micro injection, you can make a mouse attack a cat, and it can even kill the cat. I mean, it is an intense rage that's almost uncontrollable. Now, when you're hypoglycemic and you add MSG at the same time, you produce a tremendous magnification of this effect. Now, this happens in society all the time. If you go and you have your soda and you're drinking it, and you're nibbling on some Doritos, which are very high in MSG, that's why they taste so good, and your MSG level, your glutamate level in your blood starts to rise. The glutamate stimulates insulin release, the sugar stimulates insulin release, your blood sugar falls, and in susceptible people, which is a lot of people, you can fall into severe rage. So it's a tremendous effect, and of course excitotoxicity destroys brain cells.
Sooner or later, we may have to just stick to a fruit-only diet or become breatharians. Although there's some fruits that's questionable, but the struggle to find non-contaminated food is real.
I want to see what the sun looked like in Oklahoma the other day. This lady was driving home and she looked up and she noticed that the sun looks really digitized, like a Minecraft sun. Check it out.
I'm not like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, okay? I do read the Bible, which is not like a conspiracy theorist. Let me show you the sun. It doesn't look like the sun. I'm like freaking out. Okay, stop. Am I crazy? That is not a sun.
Y'all see the red sun?
I can't zoom anymore. But look at this. This is not the sun.
What?
I am 41 years old. I've never seen the sun look like
And you see the color of the sky? Is it smoked out? Y'all see that? Now, this is in Oklahoma. I don't believe there's any fires in Oklahoma or around Oklahoma, but that looks digitized as hell, y'all. Like, what is going on? Are we waking up and realizing that we're in a video game, y'all? Like, the sun's the first thing, one of the first things to change.
Am I crazy?
Again, y'all, so many things are happening on this planet, and it's happening really, really quickly, so fast.
It's beyond me as to what would cause the sun to look like that, but I know at times the sky would have this amazing color close to sunset, but I'm not sure if the sun is subjected to that same effect. But drop in the comments though, let me know what you think.
I ain't never seen this in the sky in my life. Look how bright the sky is though. Am I tripping? If I'm tripping, tell me I'm tripping. If I'm tripping, tell me I'm tripping. But what is that? I ain't crazy. I promise y'all, I ain't crazy.
I'm not sure if this is real, but even if it was, I don't think this would have made headline news. I mean, for all we know, this could have been like a hologram from Project Bluebeam.
This woman smoked for many years, and she ended up doing the paper towel test to see how bad her lungs were because of all these years of smoking. This is exactly what happened. And she's able to see that the towel changes color to this. Like, what is that even? And then years after she stopped smoking, she redid the paper towel test, and this is exactly what happened. You notice that she looks different. She looks much healthier, right? And then the paper towel results are completely different. So her lungs seems like they're much healthier, they're much cleaner than what they were before. And here's what you have to understand. Smoking can definitely cause you to have COPD or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, in which you have mucus build up, and over time that could predispose you to have respiratory issues, pneumonias. Then that could cause you to not be able to clear mucus as well as all these different chemicals in your lungs. What could happen is that COPD or smoking could cause ciliary damage. You have a mucociliary escalator that basically helps clear up different bacteria, different debris in your lungs, but when you smoke, you destroy that. So now you're having a very difficult time clearing that from your lungs, and your lungs could have a buildup of all these different chemicals and toxins as well as mucus buildup. That is definitely not something that you want. So if you're still smoking cigarettes or vaping to that extent, you stop immediately so that you don't have any lung issues in the future.
The way that paper towel got discolored made it seem like her lungs was a few smoking sessions away from giving up. I mean, she dropped that smoking or vaping I got like 10 years back.
There are currently videos all over Twitter right now with what appears to be, what they're claiming to be, a meteor. They're even saying that they believe they know where it landed, but for something to be that big and that bright to land without making a sound, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying that is really, really bright. I've never seen a meteor that bright before. And wasn't that the same color as the Devil's Comet that was present during the eclipse? This is around supposedly where it fell. Look at this though, look at the lens flare. There's something round. I'm not trying to wear a tinfoil hat right now, I'm just saying there's something round and pointing, like a craft of some sort. I don't know. What do y'all think? It must just be the skeptic in me, but to me this seems like something more. What do y'all think it is? Do y'all believe in meteors? Let me know in the comments.
I will go out on a limb and say this clip is real, but shout out to that girl though. I think she made history. Alright guys, that's it for the episode. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. But y'all be good, be safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.